Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mao, and welcome to the video. So I've been once again doing some deep thinking, and one of the things that I was contemplating is whether or not power corrupts. And I came to the conclusion that power doesn't corrupt, it reveals the person who is actually them. Allow me to explain. Let's take, for example, the police. Assuming that the police are basically the same in every single country that you come across. So let's have a quick look at what they have and how this power that they possess doesn't actually corrupt them. So the first thing that the police have is the respect. They have respect from the people. People don't necessarily always show them respect, but they have respect of the people overall. If ever we're in trouble, we're taught from a young age, falsely might I add, that if we need help, we can ask the police for help. And that they are always on our side and that they are there to help us. This gives them the respect of the people. Following that, they also have power, and they have the power to detain people. I don't think many people understand the full ramifications of arresting someone, because if you stop to think about it, arresting someone and randomly kidnapping someone is basically exactly the same. The only difference is that the police have actual permission to do it, and it's considered to be normal, which it is normal, technically, and sometimes it is absolutely necessary to do. Having said that, it can be equally as traumatic as being randomly kidnapped off of the street. You're being taken away against your will, and you don't really have any say in it, should I say. They have immunity. If one of them does something wrong, the others tend to stand by them, which gives them a kind of immunity from the law, so to speak. So if they do something wrong, they can get out of it a lot easier than if it was just some random person. I think we can all agree on that. That doesn't necessarily apply to every single police, but you get what I mean. And then there's money. The police need to really understand that sometimes people are stealing purely because they're hungry and they have no other choice. Very rarely do people steal for the fun of it, unless of course they're a child. They'll probably do it then, but then again that's more of a slap on the wrist. And most people do illegal things in order to get money, more out of desperation than for fun. So they have money, which also adds to this idea of power. So true evil is ignorance. They are, how can I put this? They are adherent to true evil. By this I mean, unless they have all of the information that they have, given each individual situation, they cannot apply their powers to assist people. Now that might sound extremely confusing, and I'm going to give two examples here. Okay, so in this first example, we've got a woman who cheated on her boyfriend, and her boyfriend found out, and he is leaving her.
He smashed my phone and they grabbed me and then
I grabbed you and threw you? I grabbed you and threw you?
Yes, you fucking did! You're such a liar!
Now, in this particular situation, if she were to, say, call the police and say that basically everything that she just said, the police would then come along and arrest him and most likely prosecute him as well. And there is very little that the guy in this can actually do anything about it. And this is an example of not having all of the information available. So they're using their powers, and it's the wrong thing to do, but they don't realize that they're doing something wrong. Second example, we've got this. Now, in this particular example, we've got a homeowner who has literally thrown all of this rubbish over the neighbour's wall, and the landowner is displeased with it on the other side, so he starts throwing it all back. So the police question him and find out what exactly is going on, and eventually they arrest the homeowner, the guy who's throwing rubbish over the wall, because they're basically throwing away rubbish into somebody else's property. And this is a sign of them doing something good. How did this happen? Because they have all of the information provided to them to make a judgment call. This is what true evil actually is it's ignorance. It's when you don't have all of the information to make a proper judgment. Ignorance is the antithesis of essentially everything bad that happens, you know, racism, for example. I think everybody can agree that racism comes from a place of ignorance, of believing that one race is superior to another. You can put the same thing for gender as well, and basically everything. It all stems from ignorance, making ignorance true evil. So they are subsequent to this true evil, but only if they don't have all of the information that they have. And obviously they can abuse their own power to get their way if they wish. Now, this brings us to the end of my conclusion here, where power doesn't corrupt, it reveals the true person that they are. If they have all of this power and they're supposed to protect someone, and they don't, and they abuse that power, that is the person that they truly are. And if they use the powers that they have to help other people, then that is the person that they truly are, because they don't have to struggle to survive, and they have the power to enforce this. They are subsequent to mistakes, making bad judgment calls, because they don't have all of the relevant information. So the only way that they can truly help people is if you give them all of the information. But even with that, if they've got false information, they can do something wrong and they can destroy lives. But my point being is the way that the individual uses the power that they have is their true self. So power doesn't corrupt, it reveals. I do hope that you've enjoyed this video. I know it was just a quick me blabbering on video, but I do hope that you've enjoyed it. My name is Mao, and I do hope to see you in the next one.